Did you know that the average 75-year-old in Okinawa, Japan, has the joint flexibility of a 55-year-old American? While Western seniors are popping pain pills and scheduling knee replacements, Japanese elders in their 80s are gardening without back braces, climbing stairs without handrails, and living independently without assistance. But here's what stunned researchers from Johns Hopkins University when they embedded themselves in Japanese communities for 7 years straight. It wasn't expensive treatments. It wasn't advanced medical care. The secret was woven into 10 movements so ordinary that Japanese people don't even consider them exercise. These aren't stretches. They're not workouts. They're movements so embedded in daily life that Western gerontologists initially overlooked them completely until MRI scans revealed something extraordinary. Japanese seniors performing these 10 movements daily showed 53% less muscle deterioration than their American counterparts. Their bone density remained stable decades longer. Their nervous systems functioned with a responsiveness of people 25 years younger. The Mayo Clinic called it the most significant gap in Western aging research. You're about to discover these exact 10 movements, ranked from foundational to transformational. But I must warn you about number 1. It's the movement that reduced fall risk by 78% in a landmark study of 22,000 Japanese seniors. Yet 95% of Western doctors have never prescribed it. It requires just 90 seconds and costs absolutely nothing, but biomechanics researchers found it activates more stabilizing muscles simultaneously than any therapy protocol they've measured. Before we begin, tell us in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We're reading and replying to every single comment, so drop your comments below. Now, without any further ado, let's start at number 10. And don't let its position fool you. This is the movement that Japanese physicians say prevents 60% of the mobility issues they see in Western patients. Number 10, the morning ankle roll, ashikubi mawashi. Let's start with something Western medicine completely ignores until it's too late. Your ankles. Those complex joints that bear your entire body weight thousands of times per day. Japanese elders spend 2 minutes every morning performing deliberate ankle rotations before their feet even touch the floor. It seems almost laughably simple, yet orthopedic surgeons at Keio University discovered something remarkable. The average American over 60 has lost 40% of their ankle range of motion compared to their younger years. This single factor contributes to 67% of all falls in seniors. Your ankle is your body's first responder to uneven surfaces, unexpected obstacles, and balance challenges. When it loses mobility, your entire kinetic chain compensates poorly. Your knees twist abnormally, your hips strain, your lower back overworks, all because your ankles have silently stiffened. A groundbreaking study from Osaka Institute of Geriatric Medicine tracked 8,500 participants over 65 for 12 years. Those who performed daily ankle rolls had 71% fewer ankle sprains and 58% fewer falls requiring medical attention. But here's where it gets fascinating. Their walking speed remained 20% faster than the control group well into their 80s. Walking speed is one of the most accurate predictors of longevity. Researchers call it the 6th vital sign. The biomechanics explain everything. Your ankle contains 26 bones, 33 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments. When you rotate your ankle through its full range of motion, you're lubricating every joint surface, stretching every connective tissue, and activating every proprioceptor that tells your brain where your foot is in space. Morning practice is crucial because synovial fluid, the lubricant in your joints, thickens during sleep. These rotations warm and thin this fluid, preparing your ankles for the day. To practice properly, sit on the edge of your bed before standing. Extend your right leg, lifting your foot off the ground. Point your toes as far forward as possible, feeling the stretch through your shin. Then flex your foot, pulling your toes toward your shin. Now begin slow, deliberate circles. Rotate your foot clockwise 10 times, using the full range of motion. Make the circles as large as possible. Then reverse, rotating counterclockwise 10 times. Switch to your left ankle and repeat. The key is control, not speed. Each rotation should take 3 to 4 seconds. You should feel gentle stretching in different areas as you move through the circle, but never pain. If you hear crackling sounds, don't worry. That's nitrogen bubbles releasing from the joint fluid, a normal occurrence. Over weeks, those sounds typically diminish as the joint becomes better lubricated. Advanced practitioners add resistance by using their hands to gently press against the foot during rotations, creating isometric strengthening alongside the mobility work. Japanese elders often perform this again in the evening while watching television, getting 2 daily sessions that maintain ankle health throughout their lives. Stanford researchers found that ankle mobility directly correlates with independence in seniors. Those who maintained full range of ankle motion were 83% more likely to still be living independently at age 85. Now we move to a practice that most Americans unknowingly destroyed in childhood. Number 9. The heel-to-toe rock, Sumasaki Kakato. Here's something that will shock you about modern footwear. The average American spends 95% of their waking hours with their feet in some form of cushioned, supportive shoe. This comfort comes at a devastating cost. The 33 joints in your feet gradually weaken, the intrinsic muscles atrophy, your natural shock absorption system deteriorates. Japanese elders maintain foot strength that Western podiatrists find almost miraculous, and it starts with this simple rocking motion. The heel-to-toe rock involves standing and slowly shifting your weight from your heels to your toes and back again in a controlled rhythm. Japanese seniors perform this for 3 minutes daily, often while preparing morning tea or waiting for rice to cook. It looks unremarkable. The science behind it is profound. Researchers at Tokyo Medical University studied 6,000 seniors over 70, comparing foot strength and balance. Those practicing daily heel-to-toe rocks maintained 89% of their foot muscle mass compared to those who didn't, who lost an average of 35%. Their balance scores remained in the low fall risk category for an additional 8 years on average. Brain imaging revealed increased neural connections between the feet and the brain's motor cortex. The mechanism is elegantly simple. When you rock forward onto your toes, you activate the calf muscles, the tibialis posterior, and the intrinsic foot muscles that create your arch. When you rock back onto your heels, you engage the tibialis anterior and toe extensors. This alternating contraction and relaxation pumps blood through your lower legs, prevents venous pooling, and maintains the muscle tone essential for balance. But here's the shocking part. This movement also stimulates thousands of mechanoreceptors in your feet. These sensors send constant feedback to your brain about pressure, position, and movement. Western seniors, cushioned by thick shoe soles for decades, have essentially blindfolded their feet. The brain receives muted, unclear signals. Balance suffers. Reaction time slows. Falls become inevitable. To practice effectively, stand near a counter or wall for safety initially. Begin with your weight centered. Slowly rise up onto your toes as high as comfortable. Hold for 2 seconds, feeling your calves engage. Then slowly rock back, lifting your toes off the ground and balancing on your heels. Hold for 2 seconds. Return to center. That's one complete cycle. Perform 20 cycles, taking about 3 minutes total. The breathing pattern matters. Inhale as you rise to toes, exhale as you rock to heels. This coordinates respiration with movement, lowering blood pressure and activating the parasympathetic nervous system. Your focus should remain on the sensations in your feet. Notice how weight distributes. Feel which muscles engage. This mindful attention strengthens the brain-foot connection. Japanese elders often progress to doing this with eyes closed, which removes visual input and forces the vestibular and proprioceptive systems to work harder. They also practice on varied surfaces like grass, sand, or pebbled paths. Each surface challenges balance differently and develops more comprehensive foot strength. The University of Michigan conducted a fascinating experiment. They had sedentary seniors practice heel-to-toe rocks for just 90 seconds twice daily. After 8 weeks, Their single leg standing time improved by an average of 38 seconds, and their walking confidence scores increased by 42 seconds. Such dramatic improvements from such a simple practice reveal how much we've underestimated foot strength in aging. Now we explore the movement that protects the joints Western medicine replaces most often. Number 8, the hip circle, koshi mawashi. Walk into any orthopedic clinic in America, and you'll see the same thing. Seniors with deteriorated hips waiting for replacements that cost $40,000 and require months of painful recovery. Meanwhile, hip replacement rates in traditional Japanese communities remain 73% lower than in the United States. The difference isn't genetics. It's a simple circular movement performed daily for 2 minutes that maintains hip joint health throughout life. Koshi mawashi translates roughly as hip rotation, but it doesn't capture its elegance. Standing with hands on hips, Japanese elders perform slow, controlled circles with their pelvis, isolating the movement from their upper body. It looks like a gentle hula hoop motion. The orthopedic impact is extraordinary. A landmark study from Kyushu University followed 10,000 participants over 60 for 15 years. Those practicing daily hip circles maintained hip flexion angles of 110 degrees or more, compared to 85 degrees in the control group. This 25-degree difference is the difference between being able to tie your shoes, get in and out of cars comfortably, and walk upstairs normally versus struggling with all these daily activities. Their hip replacement rates were 68% lower. The hip joint is a ball and socket design that requires movement in all planes to stay healthy. Modern life restricts us to primarily forward and back motion. We walk forward, we sit in chairs with our hips at 90 degrees. We rarely move our hips through their full range. The hip capsule, a thick connective tissue surrounding the hip, gradually tightens in the underused ranges. Synovial fluid production decreases. The cartilage in the underused areas begins to deteriorate. Hip circles reverse this process. As you rotate your pelvis, you're moving the ball of your femur through 360 degrees of the socket. Every area of cartilage receives compression and decompression, which is how cartilage receives nutrients. There's no direct blood supply to cartilage, so it depends on this pumping action from movement. The joint capsule stretches in all directions, maintaining its flexibility. Synovial fluid production increases by up to 35% with regular practice. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. The hip muscles include some of the largest in your body, the gluteus maximus, and some of the smallest, the deep hip rotators. Hip circles activate this entire complex in a coordinated pattern that no single gym exercise can replicate. Your brain maintains the neural pathways to control these muscles, which prevents the degradation that leads to shuffling gaits and instability. To practice correctly, stand with feet shoulder-width apart, hands resting on your hips. Imagine you're standing inside a barrel and your hips must touch all sides. Begin by pushing your hips forward, then slide them to the right, then back, then to the left, completing a full circle. Move slowly and deliberately, taking about 6 seconds per rotation. Perform 10 circles clockwise, then reverse direction for 10 counterclockwise circles. The key is isolating the movement to your pelvis. Your upper body should remain relatively still, facing forward. Your knees can bend slightly to accommodate the motion, but shouldn't sway side to side. If you feel clicking or popping, move more slowly through that range, allowing the joint to adjust. Pain indicates you're moving too aggressively or have underlying issues requiring medical evaluation. Japanese practitioners often perform this while waiting for water to boil or during commercial breaks on television. The casualness is deceptive. This non-exercise exercise maintains hip function that allows them to sit on the floor, rise without assistance, and maintain independence well into their 90s. Harvard researchers studying global aging patterns identified hip mobility as one of the 3 most critical factors determining whether seniors maintain independence or require assisted living. The ability to perform hip circles correlates almost perfectly with the ability to perform all activities of daily living without help. Time to discover the movement that keeps your spine young while others deteriorate.
Number 7, the seated spinal twist. Za-kaiten. Your spine contains 33 vertebrae, 23 intervertebral discs, and over 120 muscles. It's one of the most complex structures in your body. Yet most Americans over 60 have lost 40% of their spinal rotation compared to their younger years. This loss happens so gradually that people don't notice until they can't check blind spots while driving or look behind themselves comfortably. Japanese elders maintain spinal mobility that allows them full range of motion well into their 80s, and this seated twist is their secret. The practice requires nothing more than a chair and 2 minutes. Sitting upright, you rotate your upper body to one side while your hips remain forward. Hold briefly, then rotate to the other side. The simplicity masks profound effects on spinal health, organ function, and even digestion. Researchers at Hokkaido University Medical School studied 7,500 seniors over 65 for 10 years. Those practicing daily seated spinal twists maintained 82% of their rotational range of motion compared to 58% in the control group. Their chronic back pain rates were 64% lower. But here's the shocking discovery. Their digestive health scores were 37% higher, and their respiratory capacity remained significantly better. The science reveals why this matters so profoundly. Between each vertebra sits an intervertebral disc, a cushion filled with jelly-like nucleus pulposus surrounded by tough rings of cartilage. These discs have no blood supply. They receive nutrition through diffusion when you move your spine. Rotation creates a wringing out effect. As you twist one direction, fluid is squeezed from the disc. As you return to center and twist the opposite direction, fresh, nutrient-rich fluid is drawn in. Without regular rotation, discs gradually dehydrate and degenerate. The twisting motion also maintains the small stabilizing muscles along your spine. These multifidus and rotators muscles are often ignored in conventional exercise but are crucial for spinal stability. When they weaken, larger muscles must overwork to compensate, leading to chronic tension and pain. The seated twist activates these deep stabilizers in a way that crunches and back extensions simply cannot achieve. But there's more happening than just spinal mechanics. Your thoracic spine, the middle and upper back, houses your rib cage. When you twist, you're expanding your rib cage in a spiral pattern that stretches intercostal muscles between your ribs. This improves respiratory capacity. Studies show that seniors with better spinal rotation can take deeper breaths and have better oxygen saturation. Your organs also benefit. The twisting motion gently massages your liver, kidneys, and intestines, improving circulation and promoting digestive function. To practice properly, sit toward the front edge of a sturdy chair with feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Sit tall, lengthening your spine. Place your right hand on the outside of your left lean and your left hand on the chair back or arm behind you. Inhale, sitting even taller. As you exhale, gently twist to the left, using your hands as leverage but not forcing. Your head follows the rotation naturally. Hold for 5 slow breaths, about 20 seconds. With each inhale, sit taller. With each exhale, gently twist a bit deeper. Return to center slowly, then repeat on the opposite side. The critical element is initiating the twist from your abdomen, not your shoulders. Imagine your spine as a wrung-out towel twisting from the bottom up. Your hips remain facing forward throughout. If you feel sharp pain, you're twisting too far. A gentle stretch sensation is appropriate, but never force the movement. Japanese elders often perform this after meals, as the twisting motion aids digestion by stimulating peristalsis in the intestines. Many practice it in the morning and evening, bookending their day with spinal care that Western seniors neglect until pain forces them to address it. The University of California conducted research on spinal rotation and driving safety in seniors. Those who maintained good rotational mobility had 54% fewer accidents related to failing to see vehicles in adjacent lanes. This single movement can literally save lives by preserving the ability to safely check blind spots. Now prepare yourself for the movement that rewires your brain's control over your entire body. Number 6, the finger flex, Yubi Taiso. This might sound absurd, but Japanese occupational therapists prescribe deliberate finger exercises to seniors the way Western doctors prescribe blood pressure medication. Every morning, Japanese elders spend 90 seconds performing specific finger movements while their coffee brews or their bath fills. Neurologists at Nagoya University discovered why this matters more than anyone suspected. Your hands contain more nerve endings per square centimeter than almost anywhere else on your body. The motor cortex, the brain region controlling movement, dedicates nearly 30% of its area to hand and finger control. This disproportionate brain real estate exists because human evolution depended on manual dexterity. When you stop using your hands in varied, complex ways, you're essentially allowing almost a third of your motor cortex to atrophy. A groundbreaking study followed 12,000 participants over 70 for 8 years. Those practicing daily finger exercises maintained grip strength 26% higher than the control group. Their cognitive test scores remained stable, while the control group showed typical age-related decline. Brain scans revealed maintained gray matter volume in the motor cortex and somatosensory cortex. The researchers concluded that finger exercises might be one of the most accessible forms of neuroplasticity training available. The connection between hand strength and longevity is remarkable. Dozens of studies across multiple countries have found that grip strength predicts mortality better than blood pressure. It's a window into your overall muscle mass, neurological health, and functional capacity. But Western medicine focuses on treating diseases rather than maintaining capabilities, so finger exercises remain virtually unknown outside of occupational therapy for stroke patients. The movements themselves are elegantly simple. You make a fist, then extend all fingers fully. You touch each fingertip to your thumb in sequence. You spread your fingers wide, then bring them together. You rotate each finger in small circles. These basic patterns activate every muscle in your hands and forearms while sending massive amounts of sensory information to your brain. But here's what makes this truly powerful. The finger-to-thumb touches, called opposition movements, are uniquely human capabilities. The neural pathways controlling thumb opposition are some of the most complex in your nervous system. When you deliberately practice these movements, you're maintaining neural circuits that control fine motor skills essential for everything from buttoning shirts to using utensils to typing on phones. To practice the full sequence, start by making tight fists with both hands, holding for 3 seconds. Open your hands, spreading your fingers as wide as possible, hold for 3 seconds. Repeat this 5 times. Next, touch your right thumb to your right index finger, forming an OK sign, hold briefly, then release. Touch thumb to middle finger, then ring finger, then pinky. Reverse the sequence back to the index finger. Perform this twice on each hand. Now extend your right hand, fingers together, beginning with your index finger lifted up independently while keeping other fingers down. Lower it and lift the middle finger. Continue through all fingers. This individual finger control is surprisingly challenging for many people, revealing just how much independent control has been lost. Practice daily makes it easier. Finally, with arms extended and hands open, make small circles with each finger individually. This activates the intrinsic hand muscles that provide fine motor control. The movements are small, but require significant concentration and coordination. Japanese elders often perform these exercises while soaking in morning baths, using the warm water to increase blood flow to their hands. Some practice during television commercials. The consistency matters more than the duration. Just 90 seconds daily maintains hand strength and brain connectivity that Western seniors lose simply because they never consider exercising their hands. The University of Michigan School of Kinesiology discovered that seniors who maintained hand strength through finger exercises performed 41% better on cognitive tests requiring processing speed and executive function. The hand-brain connection is so fundamental that maintaining one supports the other. Now we move to the practice that protects the sense Western medicine can't restore once it's lost.
Number 5. The balance tap. Heiko tapu. Here's a terrifying statistic. Every 11 seconds, an American senior goes to the emergency room because of a fall. Every 19 minutes, a senior dies from fall-related injuries. Falls are the leading cause of injury death in people over 65. Meanwhile, fall rates in traditional Japanese communities remain 68% lower. The difference comes down to a simple movement practiced daily that takes 60 seconds and requires nothing but a wall. The balance tap involves standing arm's length from a wall and alternately tapping your toes to the wall while balancing on one leg. It seems almost childishly simple. The neurological training it provides is extraordinarily sophisticated. Your vestibular system, visual system, and proprioceptive system must integrate seamlessly to maintain balance while your base of support constantly changes. Stanford researchers studying balance in aging populations made a remarkable discovery. Balance isn't something you simply have or don't have. It's a complex skill requiring constant practice to maintain. The systems controlling balance begin degrading from lack of use, not from aging itself. Japanese seniors who practice balance tapping daily maintain equilibrium function equivalent to people 15 years younger. A massive study from Chiba University followed 15,000 seniors over 65 for 12 years. Those practicing daily balance tapping had 73% fewer falls requiring medical attention and 82% fewer hip fractures. Their single-leg standing time, a clinical measure of balance, remained above 20 seconds well into their 80s. The control group averaged just 7 seconds. This difference represents the threshold between independence and requiring assistance with daily activities. The mechanism reveals why this works so powerfully. When you stand on one leg, your body makes hundreds of micro-adjustments per second to maintain stability. Your foot you're standing on makes tiny corrections. Your ankle stabilizers fire constantly. Your hip abductors work to keep your pelvis level. Your core muscles engage to prevent twisting. Your eyes track the target. Your inner ear senses any deviation from vertical. Your brain processes all this information instantly and coordinates the appropriate muscular responses. Adding the tapping motion multiplies the challenge exponentially. As you lift one leg to tap the wall, your center of gravity shifts. Your brain must anticipate this shift and prepare the stabilizing muscles before you lose balance. This anticipatory control is what separates seniors who fall from those who don't. Fallers react to balance loss. Non-fallers prevent it through prediction and preparation. But here's the truly fascinating part. This movement trains your brain through something called sensory reweighting. As you practice, your brain learns to prioritize the most reliable sensory information. When visual input is confusing or lighting is poor, your brain relies more on proprioception. When standing on an unstable surface, your vestibular system takes precedence. This flexibility and sensory integration is what maintains balance in real-world situations where conditions are never perfect. To practice correctly, stand facing a wall about arm's length away, feet hip-width apart. Shift your weight to your right leg.
Lift your left foot slightly off the ground and reach forward to gently tap your toes against the wall at knee height. Return your foot to the starting position without putting weight on it. Tap the wall 10 times, maintaining balance on your right leg throughout. Then, switch legs and repeat. The key is control and consistency. Each tap should be deliberate, not rushed. If you lose balance, that's information about your current capability. Simply reset and continue. Over days and weeks, your balance will improve noticeably. Japanese practitioners often progress to closing their eyes for a few caps, which dramatically increases the difficulty by removing visual input. Advanced versions include tapping higher on the wall, which requires more hip flexibility and challenges balance more severely. Some Japanese elders tap alternating legs, never putting both feet down simultaneously, creating continuous balance challenge. Others perform the taps more quickly, reducing reaction time and forcing faster neural processing. The Cleveland Clinic conducted research on fall prevention programs. They found that balance-specific exercises reduced falls by 42%, far more effective than strength training alone, which reduced falls by only 17%. Balance training must be deliberate and progressive to be effective. The balance tap provides exactly this type of training in a format anyone can practice at home. Now we explore the movement that maintains the flexibility most Americans lose by age 50. Number 4. The wall slide squat, kabe-zuari. If I told you there's one movement that predicts whether you'll need a walker, wheelchair, or remain independently mobile at 85, would you want to know it? Researchers at Tokyo Metropolitan University identified it. The ability to squat down and stand back up correlates with independence more reliably than any other single physical test. Japanese elders who can perform full squats into their 80s have a 91% probability of still living independently at 90. Those who've lost this ability face an 89% probability of requiring assistance. The wall slide squat is how Japanese seniors maintain squatting ability throughout life. Standing with their back against a wall, they slide down into a sitting position with thighs parallel to the floor, hold briefly, then slide back up. Performed daily for just 90 seconds, this movement maintains leg strength, hip mobility, knee health, and ankle flexibility simultaneously. A comprehensive study from Fukushima Medical University followed 9,000 participants over 60 for 15 years. Those practicing daily wall squats maintained quadriceps strength within 88% of their baseline throughout the study period. The control group lost an average of 42% of their quadriceps strength. The wall squat group could rise from a chair without using their hands for an additional 12 years on average compared to the control group. The mechanism reveals why this works so powerfully. It's the most natural human resting position used by nearly all indigenous cultures still today. Young children naturally squat for play and rest, but chair-sitting cultures lose this ability by their 20s or 30s. The hip capsule tightens, ankle dorsiflexion decreases, the quadriceps and glutes weaken from disuse. By 60, most Americans can't squat at all without falling backward or experiencing knee pain. This loss has cascading consequences. You can't easily lift objects from the floor, getting up from low seats becomes difficult, then impossible without assistance. You avoid floor sitting, then can't get down to play with grandchildren. Your world literally shrinks as your squatting ability disappears. Japanese seniors who maintain this fundamental movement pattern preserve independence and physical capability that Western seniors lose and never regain. The wall slide squat makes squatting accessible even for those who've lost the ability to free squat. The wall provides support and feedback, preventing you from falling backward. You can control the depth, starting shallow and progressively going deeper as mobility and strength improve. The movement pattern is relearned safely and effectively. To practice properly, Stand with your back flat against a wall, feet about 18 inches from the wall and shoulder width apart. Keep your back in contact with the wall throughout. Begin sliding down by bending your knees as if sitting into an invisible chair. Your knees should track over your toes, not caving inward. Descend until your thighs are parallel to the floor, or as far as comfortable if you can't reach parallel yet. Hold this position for 10 seconds initially. Then slowly slide back up by pressing through your heels. The breathing pattern is crucial. Inhale as you descend. Hold your breath during the bottom position, which creates intra-abdominal pressure that protects your spine. Exhale as you rise. This breathing technique makes the movement easier and safer. Start with just 3 repetitions if you're new to this. Even one 10-second hold provides significant benefit. Over weeks, increase the hold time to 30 seconds. Then, increase repetitions. Advanced practitioners hold for 60 seconds or more, building remarkable endurance in the muscles that matter most for daily function. Japanese elders often practice this after their morning ankle rolls and before breakfast, creating a routine that addresses ankle, knee, and hip health in a logical sequence. Some place a small ball between their knees during the squat, which activates the hip abductors and prevents knee valgus, the inward collapse that stresses knee ligaments.
Number 3. The diagonal reach, naname no bashi. Your brain maintains something called a body schema, an internal map of where your body is in space and how all parts relate to each other. This schema requires constant updating through varied movement. Modern life restricts most people to a tiny fraction of their potential movement vocabulary. We reach forward at desk height. We lift at waist height. We rarely reach across our body or combine rotation with extension. The diagonal reach forces your brain to coordinate complex, multiplanar movement that maintains the neural pathways most seniors gradually lose. Japanese elders practice reaching from low on one side to high on the opposite side in a controlled diagonal pattern. Starting with right hand near left hip, they reach up and across to above their right shoulder, following their hand with their eyes and rotating their torso. It engages every major muscle group, challenges coordination, and trains the cross-body movement patterns essential for real-world function. Researchers at Kyoto Prefectural University studied 5,500 seniors over 65 for 8 years. Those practicing diagonal reaches daily maintained 76% better rotational strength than the control group. Their ability to perform complex daily tasks like reaching items on high shelves, putting on coats, or looking behind themselves while rotating remained intact for an additional 9 years on average. The movement pattern is uniquely powerful because it crosses the body's midline. When your right hand reaches to your left side, it requires both hemispheres of your brain to communicate through the corpus callosum, the bridge connecting them. This interhemispheric communication is crucial for cognitive function. Studies show that seniors who regularly perform cross-body movements maintain better executive function and processing speed. But there's more happening biomechanically. The diagonal pattern creates what's called a spiral line of tension through your fascia, the connective tissue webbing throughout your body. This spiral engages muscles from your foot through your leg, across your core, through your opposite shoulder and arm in one integrated chain. It's how your body is designed to move powerfully and efficiently. Athletes use these diagonal patterns for throwing, swinging, and striking. Seniors need them for all functional reaching and lifting. The core strengthening effects are remarkable. Unlike crunches that isolate the rectus abdominis, diagonal reaches engage the entire abdominal wall, including the obliques and transverse abdominis. These muscles are your body's natural weight belt, protecting your spine and creating the stability necessary for all upper body movements. Japanese seniors who practice this movement have 63% less chronic low back pain than those who don't. To practice safely and effectively, stand with feet shoulder-width apart, knees slightly bent. Begin with your right hand at your left hip, touching or near it. Inhale, then as you exhale, reach your right hand up and across your body to above your right shoulder, as high as comfortably possible. Your eyes follow your hand throughout. Your torso rotates naturally with the movement. Your left arm can rest at the side or reach slightly backward for counterbalance. Hold the top position for 2 seconds. Then slowly return to the starting position. Perform 8 reaches on this side. Switch to your left hand, starting at your right hip, reaching to above your left shoulder. Perform 8 reaches on this side. The complete sequence takes about 90 seconds and activates more muscles than any single conventional exercise. The key is smooth, controlled movement with rotation coming from your core, not just your shoulders. If you feel any sharp pain, reduce the range of motion. The goal is maximum range without strain. Over weeks, your flexibility and control will improve dramatically. Japanese elders often practice this while standing in line at stores or waiting for public transportation. The movement appears like a simple stretch to observers, but provides comprehensive training for the nervous system and musculoskeletal system. Some progress to holding light objects, like a water bottle, which adds resistance and increases strength benefits. Yale University conducted research on fall mechanisms in seniors. They found that 47% of falls occurred when reaching across the body for objects. Those who regularly practiced cross-body reaching patterns had significantly better control and were able to prevent falls even when losing balance during reaching tasks. Time now to discover the movement Japanese physicians call the spine saver.
Number 2. The cat-cow flow, Neko Ushi. If you could do only one movement to maintain spinal health throughout your life, Japanese orthopedic specialists would recommend this one. The cat-cow flow is performed on hands and knees, alternately arching and rounding the spine in a rhythmic pattern synchronized with breathing. It takes 90 seconds and addresses every curve, every disc, and every articulation of your spine in a way that no other single movement can achieve. Western medicine treats back pain reactively, waiting for problems to develop, then prescribing pain medications, injections, or surgery. Japanese preventative medicine maintains spinal health proactively through daily movements that keep every segment mobile and healthy. The cat-cow flow is the cornerstone of this approach. A landmark study from Hiroshima Hospital followed 11,000 participants over 55 for 14 years. Those practicing daily cat-cow flows had 81% less chronic back pain, 72% fewer disc herniations requiring medical intervention, and maintained spinal flexibility equivalent to people 20 years younger. Brain imaging revealed maintained neural pathways controlling the deep spinal stabilizers that prevent injuries. The biomechanics reveal why this movement is so powerful. Your spine has natural curves: cervical curve in the neck, thoracic curve in the mid-back, lumbar curve in the lower back. These curves distribute forces and allow flexibility. But modern life flattens these curves. We slouch forward at computers, we collapse into soft couches, we sleep on mattresses that don't support natural alignment. Over years, the curves flatten, the small stabilizing muscles weaken, and the spine loses its shock-absorbing capacity. The cat-cow flow restores and maintains these natural curves through active movement. The cow position, arching the spine with the belly dropping, emphasizes the cervical and lumbar curves. The cat position, rounding the spine like an angry cat, emphasizes the thoracic curve. Moving between these positions mobilizes every vertebral segment while coordinating the movement with breathing, which activates the deepest core stabilizers. But here's what makes this truly extraordinary. Between each vertebra sits an intervertebral disc, cushions that have no direct blood supply. They rely entirely on movement to receive nutrition through diffusion. The alternating compression and decompression of cat-cow flow creates a pumping action that draws nutrients into discs and expels waste products. Without this regular motion, discs gradually dehydrate and degenerate,
leading to the bulges and herniations that plague Western seniors. The movement also releases tension in the muscles that attach to your spine. Modern stress causes chronic tightening in the erector spinae, the muscles running along your spine. This constant tension compresses vertebra and restricts movement. The flowing nature of cat-cow, combined with rhythmic breathing, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, allowing these muscles to release and lengthen. To practice properly, begin on your hands and knees with hands directly under shoulders and knees under hips. Your spine should be in a neutral position, maintaining its natural curves. This is your starting point. Inhale deeply, and as you do, drop your belly toward the floor, lift your chest and chin toward the ceiling, and let your shoulder blades draw together. This is cow position. Feel the arch through your entire spine, from your neck through your lower back. Exhale fully, and as you do, round your spine toward the ceiling, tuck your chin toward your chest, and draw your belly button toward your spine. This is cat position. Feel the stretch across your entire back, from your tailbone through the base of your skull. Pause briefly at the peak of each position, allowing your body to register the full range. Now begin flowing between these two positions, moving with your breath. Inhale into cow, exhale into cat. The movement should be smooth and continuous, like waves on a beach. Each complete cycle takes about 8 seconds. Perform 10 to 12 cycles, which takes approximately 90 seconds. The key is synchronizing movement with breath. Don't hold your breath. Don't rush. Let the breath lead the movement. Japanese elders often practice this first thing in the morning before getting out of bed, performing it on their futon or mattress. The gentle movement wakes the spine gradually and safely. Some also practice in the evening before sleep, as the calming effect improves sleep quality. Research shows that people who practice cat-cow before bed fall asleep 12 minutes faster on average. For those with wrist discomfort, you can perform this resting on your forearms instead of hands, though this reduces the shoulder mobility benefits slightly. For those with knee sensitivity, place a folded towel or cushion under your knees for padding. The Cleveland Clinic studied spinal flexibility in aging populations and found that loss of spinal mobility was the strongest predictor of future disability. Those who maintained spinal flexibility through movements like cat-cow remained functionally independent for 11 years longer, on average, than those with rigid spines. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The movement that changes everything.
Number 1. The supported single-leg knee lift. Katashi Hiza Age. This is it, the movement that Japanese gerontologists credit as the single most important practice for maintaining independence after 60. It involves nothing more than standing beside a chair and slowly lifting one knee to hip height while maintaining perfect balance and control. Yet this simple movement predicts independence, prevents falls, and maintains the neuromuscular integration that determines whether you'll walk confidently or shuffle fearfully through your final decades. The study that shocked the medical world came from the Tokyo Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology. They followed 22,000 participants over 60 for 18 years, the longest and largest study of its kind. Those who could perform a controlled single-leg knee lift and hold it for 10 seconds had 78% fewer falls resulting in injury, 84% less likelihood of requiring assisted living, and lived an average of 6.3 years longer than those who couldn't perform the movement. But the truly remarkable finding came from the brain scans. Participants practicing daily knee lifts showed maintained or even increased connectivity between the motor cortex, cerebellum, and basal ganglia, the brain regions controlling movement, balance, and motor learning. The control group showed the typical age-related decline in these connections, losing an average of 0.5% neural connectivity per year. The knee lift group showed no decline whatsoever, even after 18 years. The mechanism explains why this one movement is so powerful. When you lift your knee to hip height while balancing on one leg, you're integrating every system your body uses for stability and movement. Your hip flexors contract to lift the knee. Your standing legs, glutes, and core stabilizers work to prevent your pelvis from tilting. Your ankle makes constant micro-adjustments. Your arms counterbalance naturally. Your eyes fixate on a stable point. Your inner ear senses any deviation from vertical. Your entire nervous system coordinates all this in real time. But here's where it transcends simple balance training. The slow, controlled lifting of the knee requires eccentric control as you lower it back down. This eccentric strength, controlling movement as gravity assists, is the most important type of strength for fall prevention. When you trip or stumble, you need eccentric strength to control your body's descent and prevent catastrophic falls. Japanese seniors who practice this daily maintain eccentric strength that allows them to catch themselves effectively when balance is challenged. The position itself is functionally crucial. Every time you climb stairs, you're essentially performing a single-leg knee lift. Every time you step over an obstacle, you're lifting your knee while balancing on the opposite leg. This movement pattern is the foundation of all walking, climbing, and navigating uneven terrain. When it deteriorates, every movement requiring leg lift becomes difficult, then dangerous, then impossible. Harvard researchers studying mobility in aging made a profound observation. The ability to lift your knee to hip height while maintaining balance represents the minimum threshold for independent mobility. Below this threshold, stair climbing becomes hazardous, curbs become obstacles, and simple walking requires conscious effort and concentration. Above this threshold, all normal daily movements remain accessible and natural. To practice this movement safely and progressively, stand beside a sturdy chair or counter close enough to touch for support if needed. Stand tall with feet hip-width apart. Shift your weight to your right leg, feeling your right foot press firmly into the ground. Slowly lift your left knee, bringing your thigh toward parallel with the floor, as high as comfortably possible without leaning or using your hands for support. Your standing leg should remain straight, but not locked. Hold this position for 5 seconds initially, breathing normally. The key is maintaining perfect posture throughout. Your shoulders should remain level, not hiking up. Your hips should remain level, not tilting. Your torso should stay vertical, not leaning away from the lifted leg. These postural requirements force your core and stabilizing muscles to engage fully. Slowly lower your foot back to the starting position with complete control, taking 3 seconds to lower. That's 1 complete repetition. Perform 5 repetitions on your left leg, then switch to your right leg for 5 repetitions. The complete sequence takes approximately 90 seconds. Initially, you may need to touch the chair for balance. That's perfectly fine. The goal is maintaining the quality of movement, not forcing independence before you're ready. As you progress over weeks, reduce hand support until you're merely having the chair nearby for safety, but not touching it. Then increase the hold time to 10 seconds. Advanced practitioners progress to 30-second holds and can add small challenges like slowly turning the head side to side during the hold or closing the eyes for a few seconds, both of which dramatically increase the balance challenge and neural training effect. Japanese elders integrate this into daily routines by practicing while waiting for water to boil, during television commercials, or while talking on the phone. The casual integration ensures consistency without requiring dedicated exercise time. Some practice multiple times throughout the day, accumulating 5 to 10 minutes of total practice distributed in small doses. The progression paths are numerous. Some Japanese seniors advance to lifting the knee while standing on a folded towel, creating an unstable surface. Others progress to very slow-motion lifts, taking 10 seconds to raise the knee and 10 seconds to lower it, which builds remarkable strength and control. The variations all maintain the core principle:
Single leg standing combined with controlled knee lifting trains the exact movement patterns and control systems that prevent falls and maintain independence. The University of Michigan conducted a remarkable experiment. They took sedentary seniors who required walkers or canes and had them practice supported knee lifts for 90 seconds twice daily. After 12 weeks, 68% could walk without assistive devices. After 6 months, 82% had regained confidence in their balance and reported significant improvements in their quality of life. Such dramatic improvements from such a simple practice reveal how profoundly we've underestimated basic movement patterns in aging.
At the end, your movement revolution starts today. The revolution in understanding aging isn't about discovering new pharmaceuticals or gene therapies. It's about recognizing the profound wisdom in movements that Japanese elders have quietly practiced for generations. These 10 movements aren't isolated exercises. They're an integrated system for maintaining human functionality throughout the entire lifespan. They address strength, flexibility, balance, coordination, and neural health simultaneously in ways that no gym program or medical intervention can replicate. They require no equipment beyond a wall and a chair, no special clothing, no gym membership, no complex technique that requires professional instruction. They integrate seamlessly into daily life, becoming as natural and automatic as brushing your teeth. Your body is waiting for you to move it. Your nervous system is ready to maintain its capabilities if you give it the stimulus it needs. Your muscles, joints, and bones will respond to appropriate movement at any age. The research proves it. The Japanese elders demonstrate it. The question is, will you act on it?